Welcome to our Web Design and Development course launch webinar. My name is Leanne Grant, and with me today, who's going to be presenting to you is Alex Nunez. I'm a professional development specialist here at CodeHS. Alex, I will let you introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Alex Nunez. I am a curriculum developer at CodeHS.
Okay, so we only have about 30 minutes today. And so to be able to get this going, we're going to go ahead and get started right off the bat. And so today our agenda looks like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some links into the chat. That's not what I meant to do. I'm going to drop some links into the chat here in just a second for the slides. And then we're going to go do a course overview, look at some examples. We'll do a Q&A at the end, and then we have some resources for you as well. And so when we are asking questions for Q&A, we do ask you to use the webinar Q&A in Zoom. So what happens if you put things into the chat is that they sometimes get lost as we're going. And if you put them into the Q&A, then we can address them all at one time, or we can decide, we can type in answers, whatever we need to do. Now, if you want to interact with each other, you can definitely do that in the chat as well. I will just leave it on. We don't have too many people in here today. One of the things that I would love for you to do is, if you do not have a CodeHS account, is to sign up for a free account. And you can do this by going to codehs.com/sign up. All teacher accounts are free. We do ask that you do sign up with a teacher email. We do manually verify all the accounts that sign up as teachers. And so we'll be able to do that if you sign up with your teacher account. You can just watch this session without being logged in. I will end up sending you the recording and the slides later on as well, if you would like to do it that way. So if you're not familiar with us at CodeHS, and this is your first webinar you've ever been to, just to let you know, what is CodeHS? So CodeHS is a comprehensive platform for teaching computer science from K through 12. So we have elementary, middle, and high school curriculums. It is completely web-based. We have both online and offline platforms for professional development, and we do have a full software platform with all teacher tools and resources, everything that you would need to learn or use to teach computer science. Even if you've never taught before, it's very, very easy to get started. Within our platform itself, we also offer instant feedback for students through our auto graders, and then we have an instant submission system as well. There's also extensive grading and tracking tools for teachers, and it is all web-based, minus a couple courses. Most of everything is no additional downloads, plugins needed, anything like that. Okay, so at this time, I am going to hand this off I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to allow Alex to share. And I am going to hand this off to him.
Thank you, Leanne. Yeah, so let me share screen and we can get started looking at the new web design and development course. So this is a 1-year high school course. We estimate around 170 contact hours. So that comes up to about a full year, a school year. And then with this course, it isn't necessarily a course you would give to beginner students who haven't had any experience programming. Kind of assume that students know some basic JavaScript already. Because in this course, they'll be using JavaScript in the context of creating web related programs. So a good course to do before this one, you could do our Intro to JavaScript Corgi course. That one will be a good introduction for this one. Also, AP, CSP, and JavaScript, that one would also give students what they need to be able to successfully complete this course. So that's a bit about overview of it. So why we built the course. We wanted to have a course that combines web design concepts and also web development concepts into one course. Currently, we offer a complete 1 year web design course, and then we have a 1 year web development course. These make up part of the web development pathway. And we wanted to have one that kind of covers a bit of both. And so we have this course for that. And another reason we wanted to create it is because a lot of the concepts that we've seen different states put out in their frameworks or in their standards include a bit of both web design and web development in the courses. So this also helps with better alignment to these state standards and frameworks. So it's a little more similar to what different states are requiring. And we looked at states like we looked at Georgia, Arizona, South Carolina, and we kind of got inspiration from those to see what content we're going to have in this course. And we also made updates to the syntax for to match our latest JavaScript courses. So we have JavaScript, the Introduction to JavaScript Corgi course has the most updated syntax that we have. And so the old web development course does not have this syntax update. And this one is the first web development course that does. So we wanted to, as we're moving on to this newer syntax, we wanted to also have it in our web development course so that this course now pairs with that. And it's also a potential start to a new web design and development pathway, um, depending on how teachers want to use, what courses they want to use after this. It really depends, but we're looking into maybe more advanced concepts and topics to cover and a new course for this pathway, because it now frees up some space. If students go over web design and web development in a 1 year course, then that leaves a future course to go over even more advanced things like web frameworks and things like that. So this is also a good place where we can look into the future to build on. And so the course itself is made up of 11 modules. One not shown here is a computer science careers module, but these are the core web design and web development modules in the course. It really focuses around the first half over here on the left side are more of the web design modules. These go over the fundamentals of creating web pages or web page layouts using HTML. So students learn HTML, and then they also go into styling their web pages. So they get introduced to CSS. And with these two languages, they create web pages about some of their interests, and eventually they create a homepage, which I'll show a little bit of what that looks like in a little bit. And then starting with the introduction to JavaScript and HTML module down here, then students introduce JavaScript to their web pages. So they make it more dynamic, they make it actually do something and they interact with it. So after that one, then they get into using different JavaScript libraries such as jQuery. They started learning using APIs in their programs. They build an interactive resume. They learn how to use Firebase, which is a Google cloud-based database where they can store and collect user information. And then they put it all together in a final project where they create a website that shows something that they're interested in, and they're putting together everything that they learned throughout the course. So that's kind of the flow of the course. They learn HTML, CSS within the course. They don't really learn JavaScript basics in the course, but they do learn how to use JavaScript along with HTML in the course. That is covered in the course, but just not like all the more basic JavaScript concepts. So with that said, here's an example of an exercise that students work on in the course. This is before they get introduced to JavaScript, so this is still getting to know HTML and CSS. And so in this specific exercise, you can see on the left, we have kind of this file tree They have their index HTML, which is kind of the entry point to a web site or web page. And then they have the job info HTML, which is a separate page on their site. And then they have their style CSS, which controls all of the styling and how things are laid out and how things look on their page. And so in the middle there, you see the editor with all the code written out, and then on the right is kind of the result. And so in this specific exercise, students create a career site. They go and find information about a career that they're interested in, gather the information, and then put it together nicely and style their site however they want. So this is just an example of one thing that they do here. And then this is the web page, the personal, their home page, and what the exercise kind of looks like. This is the introduction, but I just want to show at the top, students do have access to a codehs.me website where they pretty much they can use it as a portfolio. So as they're creating things within this course, they can start adding it to their homepage and to this codehs.me site, and this can stick with them throughout their entire through each course that they work on in CodeHS or any programs that they create. They could always add them to this codehs.me site, and so this is a good starting point to get that kind of get going. And this is just more instructions of what that looks like. Just kind of showing students that they have their own site and that they can always be adding new things to it. And then they get introduced to actually using JavaScript in the course within their web pages. So this is just more of less of a web page, more of like just showing how you can use JavaScript to interact with your HTML and your CSS. So students learn how to make things move and how to make animations happen. And so in this specific code, where they're just making a ball bounce, which simple concept, but the code that goes behind it is actually, yeah, they need to know a bit about everything. And then here is again showing another interactive web page that they create. This is a keyboard where students can click on the buttons and then the input shows up in this text box down underneath it. And so again, this is showing students being able to use JavaScript, for loops, HTML, and then CSS to be able to style the keyboard in that way, and then to register the input from the user, and then to display it. It's a lot going on here. They learn a lot to be able to put together a little project like this. So very comprehensive and useful skills that they're picking up as they go along. And then they also learn about accessibility for their sites. So we have a whole lesson on what makes web pages accessible, and from like the backend stuff, the actual code, and then also just the way that it looks. So they take a look at this specific program that we have here on the right-hand side, it's a screenshot of what the site looks like, and then they have to style it in a way that that is more accessible. So as you can see, like the hello world at the top there has a dark blue background and then it's in black. And so it might be that's not the easiest thing for people to see. So students will be able to go in and make those changes. And then also adding alt text to any images that they use on their site. So again, making sure they can have an understanding of the whole idea of things that go behind creating web pages, and things that are important in the industry, right? So if they are interested in industry roles with web development, accessibility is a huge thing. So making sure they have that information as well. And yeah, it's again, so this course doesn't have a ton of new content. We're combining some of the existing stuff that we have in our web design course with our web development course, and we're kind of putting it together into one full year course for you guys to use. So yeah, are there any questions about any of the information covered or the course in general?
We do have a question in the Q&A. It said, I believe you said you were a course developer. I'm wondering why the decision was made to include JavaScript code in the script tag when JavaScript is included in a script.js file. In the first project you showed, the HTML and CSS code were in two different files, but once the JavaScript was added, the CSS and JS were embedded into the HTML. Why muddy the HTML code?
Yeah, that's a good question. Those were just the examples that I show. So when we do introduce JavaScript into the HTML and the CSS, it is in the script. We do use the script tag as far as to introduce it, but later on, we do break that out into its own separate file. Good question.
Catherine, does that answer your question? You can go ahead and put that in the chat if it does. Okay, great. We don't have any more questions. Does anybody else have anything else that they would like to ask? Good question. So can students still get a level 1 web design certification with this course?
That is a great question. There are, so our web design course, the full year course does help with the certification. Since we kind of cut out half of the material here for this course, I'm not entirely sure. We don't have that alignment just yet, but this is something I could get back to you on. A good, great question.
I wrote her name down so we can get back to you, Charlene.
Thanks, Leanne.
You're welcome. Is there any other questions? Nothing? Okay.
Cool.
We'll do if did you have something else, Alex?
No, that's all. I am curious, like I said, this is a potential to build a new pathway. So if teachers, if you hear that you maybe there's something else that you want beyond this, maybe more advanced topics, let us know. We are looking into what to do following and going beyond this course. So yeah, we are looking for that information. Please reach out if you have any ideas or thoughts.
Okay, so we'll just go ahead and get wrapped up then. If there's no other questions, if you still have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I'm just going to go through the last couple slides. Have you looked at the Georgia standards for the programming course? We do have Georgia web development courses. We have two, I believe. Nope, that's Utah. We do have a Georgia web development course. Are you saying because it combines Gina, because it combines the web design and web development? Georgia, she says that Georgia has a programming course different than both pathways. Yeah, we'll have to take a look and see
Yeah.
how it aligns and everything because it's a new course. Probably haven't done too much alignment yet.
Yeah, no, I mean we have other Georgia courses. Not sure which one would align or which one aligns more to this just programming standards. But we do have a Georgia page that has all of our alignments so that we can probably
It's
send
called
over.
it's called Programming Games, Apps, and Society. Yeah, I'm not sure that one would be synced with this one, but
Yeah,
it
no,
could
that would
be a
be
different
we would have a
answer.
different course for that. Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down too. Okay. Okay, we will definitely, keep this open if there's any other questions. We will definitely look, Gina. And then if you were interested in getting involved with CodeHS even further, we have a couple options for you to do that. You can become a CodeHS certified educator. You can earn CodeHS micro credentials as a teacher. We have a CodeHS Facebook educators group, and then obviously you can always follow us on social media at CodeHS. And we also have some free webinars coming up, more free webinars. So it's in the same place that you registered for this one today. We have another course launch for the updated Fundamentals of Cybersecurity course. Then we get into our AP week with APCSA and APCSP. We have a teaching cybersecurity webinar on the 29th. And then the following week, which is getting into the last few after that, we have, can you change the one more slide, please?
Yep.
Are getting started at teaching in middle school. We have a course launch for our new game development in Unity. We have a collaborating with AI, and then we have teaching game development in Unity. And then we take a little bit break, and we'll be back with our back to school webinars starting in right after Labor Day, the Tuesday after Labor Day. So also, if you wanted to learn more about CodeHS, you always can go to codehs.com, learn more, or /learn more, and we can let you know how we can bring CodeHS to your school, to your district as a whole, or if you even want to upgrade to Pro, whatever you would want to do there. So I do want to say thank you so much, and thank you, Alex, for presenting today. If there are no other questions, we will end up wrapping up. I'll give you guys one more chance if you want to put anything in. I don't see anything, so we can just say thank you so much for attending today and taking your time out of your time off, your summer, to join us for this webinar today.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.